every single shot you play, you have choices. You need to choose how much work to do. In other words, whether you strive to get to the ball early or whether you're going to allow it to bounce and then take it late. So you need to work out where you're going to hit the ball and how much work you're going to put on the ball and how much power you're going to put into the ball. But you need to understand that there are wise choices and other choices which are not so good. So if we take a look at a shot, I've got two separate shots here. One is a forehand drop which is left late, and the other one is a forehand drop which is taken rather early. And we'll have a look at the outcomes, and it really is quite interesting. Now with both shots, Melody started in roughly the same position, and the shots are not too dissimilar, so it really is quite interesting what the choices for each of these shots that she makes. So as she approaches the ball, you see the racket's almost at the same angle and her body preparation is almost the same as well. So she's doing almost the same amount of work at the moment. As she comes forward, and you'll notice the balls will actually almost meet at this stage of the game. And at point of contact, she's chosen to take the first shot straight after the side wall when the ball's still on the way up. So you see the body position she's got, which is really quite strong, although she's stretching a little bit to actually make sure she gets that ball early. And the other shot, you see she's working with her body almost as much at this early stage as the shot that she's currently playing now, which is the close one to the side wall. So once again, she's really well balanced. Both left hands are out for both shots, and she's in a good, strong, structured position. Feet are almost on top of each other, so she's not even that far away from each shot. Okay, as she hits the ball, you see that it will hit the front wall level with that blue line that I've got on the front wall. So that's the height of the first shot, and she's now in position for the second shot, which is the low one. So while she's hitting this second shot, the first shot is actually up to the wall already. Now, she hasn't come out of her shot, and she's in pretty much the same body position for both shots. So as we follow it through, and we see what happens on the first bounce. Right, so the first shot now is bouncing, and the second shot has only just made it to the front wall. So she's coming out of her first shot, and she's still structured and in control of her follow through for the second shot. Now the choice to play the shot late's created a few extra little problems, and that is if this ball doesn't nick, it means that it's going to sit up and it'll bounce off the floor and then the side wall and make it available to actually hit for somebody else. Now if you watch that shot through, see it's going to bounce and now level roughly with the same where the other one bounced as well. Now the first shot is now at the top of its bounce and it's still on the wall, so it is really quite difficult for anybody to attack off that, even though it's really relatively high, if you like. But it really is quite difficult for somebody to attack off that ball, so they won't have too many options, or they won't be able to put you under too much pressure from the first shot. So from here we follow the first shot through, we'll follow it through to second bounce, and you see it's still on the wall. And there it is, second bounce on the yellow little marker there. And it really is quite neat, it's quite tight. Now the second shot is now at the top of its bounce and it's about to hit the side wall. So it's not too bad in that if someone was going to attack it, they'd probably like to attack on the top of the first bounce. But what's going to happen after this is that once it hits the side wall, it will then start to come out from the side wall. And it will present the player who is actually trying to attack that ball with a fair few options. You see it is there. So at that red marker, it's now that far away, the width of that red marker, away from that side wall. So it really is an available shot to hit, and you will find yourself potentially in trouble simply because it's got a little bit of width about it from the side wall. So if you remember, the shot wasn't actually bad. It was a quite neat looking little drop shot. And if we follow it through to second bounce, you see it's one whole floorboard wide. So it is relatively quite wide from the side wall. And that width really does give you plenty of options if you were to drive a shot off that or drive a ball off that. So it means you can go cross court, you can play a boast, you can go down the wall. It's just options everywhere. So even though it was really quite a reasonable shot and it looked quite nice and quite neat, it really did make a difference as to whether or not the ball is actually kept on the wall or not. So if you have the choice, if you have the option, you need to strive to take the ball when it is close to the sidewall, because it will make it so much easier for you to play a quality shot. So often it comes down to a choice of whether you want to do the work or if you want to be just a little bit lazy and maybe just play like a neat little drop shot. But you end up having to pay the price and do a lot more work later on. If you do the work early and do the hard yakka, this is not the easiest shot in the world to play, but the quality is exceptional. And that's what you get for making the effort to take the ball close to the sidewall. Hope yourselves.